Okay, so this is an example from 8.2 where Chloe borrowed a total of $10,000. So that's going to be important information. She also borrowed part of the money from a friend. So part of the money from a friend who did not charge her interest. Interesting. So friend, I'm going to make my know and want lists. So I know friend, no interest. Okay. Of the remaining money, Chloe borrowed from a credit union at 5% simple interest. So we know that the credit union is 5% interest. And the rest from a bank. So I'm going to define my B for bank as the amount she borrowed from the bank, but I'm also going to say this really shouldn't be an equals. These should be like just information about these things because it's not a definition of the variable. But the bank is 7.5% interest, which I'm going to just do the math here so that while my brain is clear, I make sure that includes 7.5%. At the end of 1 year, she owed $500 in interest. So 1 year means they're going to pay one dose of these simple interest annual fees or whatever interest. But she owed $500 in interest. So total interest is 500. We also had total borrowed, right? Two different numbers that something is going to add up to. The total borrowed was 10,000. I boxed it, but I forgot to write it down in what I know. Now we're in the part of the problem where it says if she borrowed 1,000, okay, that's another piece of what we know. She borrowed 1,000 less from her friend, so than she did from the bank. So that means that the friend is going to be the bank minus 1,000. Now I'm using variables in this equation, but I haven't properly defined them, so I probably should. I'm going to define F as, I don't want to just go with the interest. We're going to call it the dollars borrowed from the friend. And then C is also dollars. I want to be really specific with my units. Dollars borrowed from the credit union. And then B was dollars borrowed, because there's two different kinds of borrowed. Whenever we have a percentage problem, it's a scale factor. And what it does is it tells you what portion of something else you have. It doesn't change the units of that thing, though, because it is just talking about more or less of that thing. So it's still dollars when we talk about dollars of interest, right? But it's also dollars when we talk about dollars borrowed. So if we're very explicit about whether we're talking about borrowed or interest, we can keep things straight. So what do we want? How much Chloe borrowed from each source? So actually, this is what we wanted. We wanted what is F, what is C, and what is B? How much was borrowed? So once we find F, C, and B, we'll know the answer. Great. So let's set up an equation. These pieces look like they might be fed into an equation, but don't individually represent a relationship. Total is a relationship word. So we're going to add up the total interest. So we're going to have an interest equation. ST, there we go. Our interest equation is going to be the friend amount of interest, which is the total amount of friend multiplied by the percent of interest. There is no interest. So actually, friend isn't part of that, or we can say the coefficient of F is 0 because none of the interest was contributed by the friend. But we're going to add to that the credit union's interest, which is going to be C times 0.05, because that's 5% is just the interest. If I wanted to talk about total amounts, I would have to be 1.05, or if it was a loss of money, it would be like 0.95. But because it's asking us to find just the small portion that is interest, it's the 5%. We're going to then add to that the bank's version. I'm running out of room here, sorry. And that is going to go to our total, 500. Okay, we have one equation for interest. Now the other place I was able to actually say total, right, which is a relationship, was 1,000 for what was borrowed. That one's easy. This one is F plus C plus B equals 1,000. Notice that even as I'm writing the equations, I may be strategically aligning things as if I was going to do elimination, because that standard form is critical to using our matrices. So I need a third equation because I have 3 variables. The only way this has a chance of solving is if I have as many equations as I have variables. So this was a relationship among the given information. So friend equals B minus 1,000. That's not in standard form. So before I copy it over here to make my matrix, I'm going to go ahead and pull all my variables to the left and leave my constants on the right. I will have F minus B equals, well, negative 1,000. That's a little bit weird, but that's what it would end up being. Because the friend says she borrowed $1,000 less from the friend. So if I start with the lesser amount and subtract the greater amount, I'm going to get a bigger. Now, if you set this relationship up differently, you may have multiplied the entire thing through by a negative. But remember, each of these rows is an equation. So you're allowed to do that. Maybe you have B minus F because you changed this and this and this. B minus F equals 1,000. I like having my F up front. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that and use the signs that I originally generated. But remember, because each row is an equation, I'm allowed to multiply through by different amounts. So I have F minus B equals negative 1,000. Oh, this was 10,000. That was going to be a problem. Okay. So now I have my matrices where my first row, or my first column, I'm sorry, represents all of the coefficients of F. I'm even going to erase my F's. I'm going to have a 0 here. And when I erase this F, I leave the 1 that's its coefficient and the 1 that's its coefficient. Okay? I don't need plus signs. I have a coefficient of C here, but I also need a coefficient of C there, which would be 1. And there will be a 0 here because there was no C in this relationship. And now I'm erasing my B's to get the 0.75. This has to be a 1, right, for B because there's a B there. And this will be a negative 1 because it was a negative B. Don't use equations. Don't use equal signs. All right, fully abstracted matrix. I have my row for the interest relationship, my borrowed money relationship, and then also the other, friend versus bank relationship. Great. Now it's time to get out my calculator, which I left over here. And when I hit shift bracket, I have my matrix 0, 0.05, 0.075, and 500. That's just the interest. Then 1, 1, 1, 10,000, because that was the total. Oops, accidentally ended up in the wrong place. 10,000. And then here I've got 1, 0, negative 1, and negative 1,000. Because of the signs I chose here, this also has to be negative. So I enter that, go up, go over to my triple dot, and it gives me the choice. I'm going to choose reduced row echelon form. which says that F, well, actually, I'm just going to go ahead and write my solution set, which is the one single point. Each of these, the reduced row echelon form turned out great. So my F was 1,000. My C was in the middle. I should have written that down. F, C, C, B. My C was in the middle, was 7,000, and 2,000 for the B. That accounts for all 10,000. So a quick check says this is a reasonable solution. And I just, would probably need a complete sentence of I borrowed $1,000. She borrowed $1,000 from her friend, $7,000 from the credit union, and $2,000 from the bank.